welcome. I'm Cheryl Mitchell, the president of Trelevan Inc., which is a retreat and learning center located on a sheep farm here in Addison County, Vermont. And we are doing this show called Growing Bright Futures in conjunction with Let's Grow Kids, a public education campaign about the importance of the early years, and Building Bright Futures, which is Addison County's group that brings together many people and organizations interested in young children and their families. So we are thrilled to be talking today about affordable food for families and to have as our guest Charlie Mitchell. He's actually not related to me, who's the second generation of the Middlebury Foods program. So welcome, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. So maybe we could start out just with the basics. Can you tell us what Middlebury Foods is all about?
Absolutely. So Middlebury Foods was started we launched in the fall of 2013. It's a student-run, student-founded, volunteer-based nonprofit company that sells discount produce in the form of pre-composed grocery boxes, as well as meat, frozen meat.
Wow. So, and when you say pre-composed, you mean people don't so much have a choice over what's in there? Is it like a CSA share?
So it's
you get what you get, or
it is somewhat CSA-like. So there's a few distinctions that's important to make there. So it is a get what you get kind of thing, but we do announce box contents well in advance. Mm-hmm. So you're able to take a look at the list, but it is a set poundage, and we meet that poundage based on what's available and what we want to try and what's fresh and what's the most affordable. So we kind of do the bargain hunting for you.
So you don't have to do all the coupon clipping and bargain hunting.
Exactly.
You all are doing it yourselves.
It's about guaranteed savings.
Yeah.
And a lot of time saved as well.
So can you tell us where the idea for this came from?
So this is a rural model based on a project in Chicago called Top Box Foods. And Top Box Foods runs a similar program on obviously a much larger scale. And they do what we do. They circumvent grocery market overhead, and they partner with community sites to have pickup locations.
So can you talk to me about where do people pick these up? Do you deliver to people's homes?
So we host events called deliveries, and we host them monthly. And we're in 5 locations across the county. North to south, we're in North Ferrisburg, Vergennes, Middlebury, as well as Bristol now is new, and Brandon, which is technically not in Addison County, but we count it. And so we partner with churches, the Legion in Bristol, other community organizations, and we use their space for an hour every month, and everybody comes to the parking lot, and we make the transactions there, and we have all the food ready, and it's a 5-minute pickup, and we see a lot of customers we know every month, and it's nice to see everybody, and everyone sees their friends, and it's a really nice time. So we do those on Sunday afternoons. We're in Bristol, North Ferrisburg, and Vergennes, and on weekday evenings, which has typically been Friday, but we've transitioned to Mondays in Middlebury and Brandon. And that's once a month.
So when you say we, who is we?
So by we, I mean a group of student volunteers, which is fluid. We kind of grab who we have available, especially in the summer when numbers tend to be low, but we have really strong enthusiasm. We have really strong volunteership, and it's all just Middlebury students who are excited about getting out and selling some cheap food so that families can afford fresh food, and that's something that's really exciting to people.
It's wonderful. It's a nice connection between the college and the town.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's been a great vehicle to introduce the town to the students as well as the broader area. I mean, we stretch the county, so it's a lot of fun to be able to get people up to North Ferrisburg, but really stop in and see a church and see everyone coming out of church and meet such a wonderful variety of people that the county has to offer. It's a lot of fun.
It's nice that it works both ways. I can understand the delivery part. Can you talk about how do you actually track down the best values, and how do you physically get the food to put into the boxes?
So we order from a grocery distributor called Black River Produce, who's in North Springfield.
Yeah.
Yep, they're awesome, and we just take a look at what they're offering, and we compose our boxes based on that. We typically offer the family box, which is 8 pounds of produce, 2 pounds of pasta, and 6 pounds of meat, all for $35. Which is, I mean, we're really excited about the savings we're able to offer. So the reason we're able to sell it at such a nice discount, we don't sell it, we check our prices against area supermarkets, and we won't sell the food unless we're hitting at least a 15% discount against the grocery store, and often it's much larger than that.
Yeah. So you were a FoodWorks intern this summer.
I was.
And you were working on Middlebury Foods. Can you describe what you did and who you met? And
yes, absolutely. So through the FoodWorks program is a 3-pronged program. There's the internship, there's 5th day experiences that take us through the food system of Vermont, all around the state, exploring innovators and awesome people, and the course as well. So with my internship time, what I spent a lot of my time doing was running to all of these community leaders in the area, saying, look, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is what we want to do more of, and we wanted to learn as much as we could about the kind of work that was being done, and also explore how those if there are potential partnerships that can be formed there.
So that would be places like Hope or CVOEO or the child care programs, or?
Precisely. So we're seeing a lot of potential with child care programs, particularly the Parent-Child Center, who shuttles families across the county every day. That's so we're looking at this from where do people get their food and where is it going, and how can we make this more convenient and efficient.
So you could potentially expand to more delivery sites.
Absolutely. We're taking on a significant expansion this month. This month we're holding our first delivery in Bristol, which is proving to be, it's going to be successful, it's going to be exciting. And that's a particular area Bristol is a gateway to a lot of other more isolated areas that are sort of looking for places for alternatives to driving all the way into Vergennes or the Bristol Shaws or something. So I think we're going to find.
So are you looking maybe at the mobile home parks or some of the other?
In Starksboro. We're not there yet. But that's on our radar. The Bridport Shoreham area is on our radar, absolutely. So we just stretch up and down Route 7 really, but our aim is to get out to the slightly more isolated areas that are would possibly benefit more from us coming to them, which is, so the speed is really affected there. And
I'm curious if, like in Chicago, did they have schools be a pickup site for people? Is that a possibility for us in the county?
So schools are a complicated thing, just in terms of liability with business transactions and things like that. We have talked to some schools in Vergennes who are interested in having some after-school pickups, and we haven't found the numbers for that yet, but we do find that talking to schools is a great way to reach parents.
Right.
And the people who can generally benefit from our service the most are the people who are the most pressed for time and often possibly paying childcare, possibly multiple income households. So I know we're getting to some hunger-free stuff, but the families, there is a bracket of families that are ineligible for government benefits like
Right.
SNAP and WIC, but it doesn't mean that they're not even
Still struggling to
yes,
make ends
exactly.
meet, yeah.
And I hesitate to use the word struggling because there are plenty of families who would simply just prefer more affordable options and
Yeah.
want the best for their kids and want those options to be as fresh as possible. So I think of us allowing families to use the money that they sometimes are forced to use on frozen pizza and fast and not always the healthiest food, and turn that into more time and savings to give their kids everything they want to,
Yeah.
which and they're sometimes limited by budget and by time.
I love the idea that this is sort of part of a continuum. I brought some of the information about the EBT program,
Yes.
SNAP, and I think most people know, but not everybody knows that you can use them at farmers markets.
Mhm.
So people can take their SNAP benefits to the farmers market and go up to where the big yellow sign is and just tell them how much they want in terms
Right.
of vouchers.
And it's often worth twice as more at
Often,
the farmers
and that
market.
right, that's the cash crop program.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're buying fresh fruits and vegetables, it's a way to double your money.
Absolutely.
So it's nice that there's this sort of combination of public programs and
Precisely.
the private programs that you're doing and our commercial supermarkets
Oh,
all sort
it's
of
all
working together.
it's all beginning to come together, and the
Yeah.
fun part is what Crop Cash does is it's a bridge between the local food movement and some areas of real need and like the more public service aspect of things. So I mean, on campus we have a lot of enthusiasm towards the local food movement and organic farming and buying fair and equitable food and organically produced food. But this is a way to think of food as a more complex system than simply assuming that if we all farmed in our backyards organically, everyone would be
We'd be
fine.
eating tomatoes,
Exactly.
probably. and
A lot of
not
tomatoes.
much else, yeah.
Exactly, and the earth would be fine too. So I mean, we're thinking this is acknowledging sort of the complexity as well as the immediate need of the immediate community, which is why it's so rewarding.
Yeah, I'm thinking one of the interesting things I've gotten involved in, mostly because of this, the EBT stuff, is the Harvest of the Month program.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if there might be a way to sort of mesh those two things. Harvest of the Month basically is encouraging kids to try new fruits and vegetables, and it's free, so preschools are using it and schools are using it and families can use it. You can download, I'm just going to flash some of these
Please
posters
do,
because
yeah.
I'm in love with them.
They're beautiful.
So they focus each month. They'll send you recipes. They'll talk about where you buy fresh, local, organic produce. And the idea is that the kids in any of the participating schools or preschools will try. There'll be a taste test, and they'll try
Beautiful.
whatever that vegetable is. And if you're providing those vegetables at home too, the produce
That's
at
the
home,
hope.
it would
That's
be
the hope.
great.
That's the
yeah.
hope, is that there is the motivation to become familiar with these foods, and there's we inherently understand that this is better, and the more we're raised that it's better, and the more we're familiarized with these things, the more we understand how important it is, and what processed foods do to our well-being, and it's a national problem. But schools want to do it, and so the funding, the lack of funding in school food service is a huge tragedy, because that's the basis of education, is what kids can get in the morning. If they can't
Yeah.
eat properly, then they won't learn, and then you have this tough cycle. So I mean, this is closing those gaps, which is a really, really important thing.
So how did you personally get interested in this?
So I kind of started on the local food movement end of things. I wanted to have a summer job outside, and I wanted to something I couldn't explain drove me towards farming. So I farmed in high school for.
Where did you grow up, Charlie?
I'm from north of Boston, in Essex County, Beverly specifically. So I worked on an organic farm in South Hamilton, Massachusetts, every summer in high school. And towards the end of things, I was much more interested in learning, well, where is this food going? What I was thinking more about national problems and learning more about food insecurity in the United States, poverty and agriculture issues globally. So when I showed up as a freshman last
grabbed
year,
you, it sounds like.
It was a direct, service-oriented, action-oriented project that was having a small impact, but a very tangible impact. And I found that so thrilling. Yeah.
So do you garden at the college as well? Are you part of the organic garden or the small garden that's outside Weybridge House? Or how do you keep your hands in the dirt while you're...
If there was more time for anything at school, I would prefer to be in the field more. But I try to be outside as much as I can on the whole. But I think that I had done my time in the field,
Yeah.
and I was.
Was it a vegetable?
It was an organic vegetable farm, yes, and I loved it, and I think about it all the time. So there are different. I'm getting my hands dirty in a different way, and
Yeah.
it feels the same in its own way.
And it feels good. I like
feels
the way you
great.
describe sort of these interconnections, and that the focus on food can actually bring communities together rather than separating them.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. And there's this, that's what Crop Cash is trying to do. Crop Cash is getting people who generally dismiss the farmers market as something that not their people, not a culture they're familiar with or part of, and making that something that everyone can share. And that's a hope of mine for Middlebury Foods as well, is that the more farmers we meet and the more we're able to see how we can help each other, we can start getting that locally produced fresh produce in our boxes.
So right now your produce is coming from
Black River.
Black River, but your hope is to transition at least some portion of the produce package to local.
So that's the dream.
Locally grown.
So that's
Okay.
the dream, is that we have a lot of enthusiasm here. I mean, in this area, towards local food, and that's so our business kind of tries to acknowledge a broader reality that, I mean, we're more concerned about what Addison County citizens are eating tonight rather than what's being grown where.
Right.
But our hope certainly is to try to see where those can be integrated. And we are bringing some more local products to people who may not have the time to drive all the way out to a farm. Like Smith Family Beef is in New Haven, and they sell a lot of their beef right out of their farm in New Haven, down Limekiln Road. And so we've sold their meat for them basically at face value, but we sell it really well, and it's to people who are interested in saving that time and probably would love to support local businesses, love to support organics, love to support all of these things that they know that they consider to be supportive of the environment and a better future. But they may not have the time or the means. So we work with a couple local beef producers, and so our goal is to grow that number and try and bridge this gap, and help make it easier.
Are you part of, I think it's called Real Food, the movement to have locally grown
In dining halls?
In the dining halls.
So yes, that's
Yeah.
a program called the Real Food Challenge,
Real Food
which
Challenge.
is
Okay.
a huge national phenomenon, which is super, super exciting. It's all about students putting pressure on dining services to work towards, I'm not sure what the numbers are, but a certain proportion of food that is real on some level, which has to do with soil stewardship and fairness, fair trade, things like that, organic. So it's an awesome program, and there's an awesome group of kids who are working hard on Real Food Challenge with a group called Eat Real on campus is what it's called.
Eat Real. Okay.
Eat Real. And they've had a lot of success working with dining services and have come to some really exciting conclusions with them. So that's another aspect of bringing local food here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like you're interested not just in the growing and the sort of the ecology of the community,
Absolutely.
but also in the policy issues. Where do you see yourself heading in the next
Yeah.
3 or 4 years
That's
here?
the fun question. I mean, I've had a lot of fun bouncing around a little bit through farming, through food pantry work and direct aid like that. And this is something that is sort of in the middle in the nonprofit world is such a awesome, exciting place. And this summer I've spent so much time just interacting with all these really exciting, really smart, really innovative and creative people. So I just kind of drool over their jobs all the time too. So I mean, and of course then there's this is food systems is a rising course of study in academics.
Right, there are degree programs in it now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's something that I really want to explore too.
Yeah.
But there is something about that comes from farming about really having your hands dirty and lifting things and talking to people every day. That is something that's hard to turn your back on as well. So I don't really know where it all.
So you have time to explore.
I sure
and
do.
Figure it out.
I
yeah.
plan to.
I'm realizing, because we're running out of time ourselves, that I forgot to ask. I brought the Farm Share brochure, which is something that the Northeast Organic Farming Association
Right.
does to help
Yeah.
people purchase CSA shares. And I didn't even ask to do Middlebury Food. Do you have to sign up for a year?
Oh,
Or
there's
can you
no.
do-
So
no.
that's the
Oh, okay.
distinction with CSAs is
Got
that
it.
we are month by month.
You're month by
So
month.
you're on vacation this month, not a problem. There's no commitment. There's no commitment with payment either. We accept payment on site. So if you go online and fill out our order form, it takes no time at all. And we confirm and we'll call you and we see you at one of our pickup sites. And we accept payment there, and we accept all forms of payment except
You can't
for
do EBT yet, yeah.
which is on the horizon, and we'll be loud and proud once we get EBT, and that's a work in progress.
Great, good. And all of that, all your contact information will show up on the screen in a few minutes. Any closing remarks you want to make?
I would just say that this is a really exciting project to be a part of, and anyone who's looking to save time and money on food and can also feel like they're taking their food dollars out of destructive systems that pervade our entire country's economy. And so, I mean, if you want to find it, look at it at a community supportive level, and if you want to look at it as a feeding your family a better food with less money and more time, you can see it however you like. I think supporting us is working on a lot of levels.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for
Thank you.
being on the show today. And I also wanted to thank Middlebury Community Television. They are wonderful people to work with, and if you have a message that you'd like to get out to the public, just give them a call. You don't really need to know anything. They teach you everything, and they love to get public information out there. So Thanks for watching us today.